Okay. Hey, I don't know how many times I had to kind of stop and re-record because something came up or I had to get up and do something. But this is going to be like the first rough draft of the application that I coded with Gemini using AI Studio. Is this a final product? No. This is definitely not a final product. I also want to show you my GitHub account. This is the GitHub account that I am using for my project. It depends on how fast the speed last video was, but this is the name of my project. And I know you're probably thinking, well, there's not that many commits. That's because I've been sitting there just prompting and checking and instructing Gemini and directing it to basically do certain things with the application and adding certain features and elements to it. And then after I was finally satisfied with one portion of it, I would then send a commit to then push it towards the GitHub account. But this is the same. This is my GitHub account. This is the project. I already compiled it into a .executable file. It's actually currently running right now. But we're just going to go over a few things. Okay. So this is a rough draft. There's definitely quite a number of things I would need to really fix. Is it functional? Yes. Does it have a chance to actually evolve to something more? Yes, of course. But yeah, certain things like icons and the name and everything, that will be on the very last mile for the project. But this is just the testing phase. This is more of, hey, let's see how it is. Let's see what features we need to add, etc. So, one of the first things I do want to get out of the way is cloud services. Now, I don't want the interface to kind of look like this. I definitely have plans to kind of really brush up the style of it. But for now, we're just going to keep it as Google. Okay. So that's my Drive account. That's Docs. That's Mail. And that's Notes. All of it works. And one of the key features I wanted to make sure it was implemented is that even if you hide it, it doesn't reset that instance. The tricky thing with Google is that if you log out from, say, Google Documents, it locks you out from everything else. So I do want to add like a separate persistent state for each service. So, oh yeah, you connected to Google, probably Gemini, just hard-coded, blah, blah, blah. Well, let's prove you guys wrong. Let's pick Proton. And I'm not logged in. Oh, look at that. It's loading Proton. Oh my god, it's not hard-coded to Google. Well, yeah, I want to make sure I give options to people that are going to use something like this for their personal use case. Whether it's an office setting or they just want to chit-chat with their private model. But when you log in the first time and then you close the application and then you open it up again, it saves that instance. So I believe unless you actually restart your computer, I'll have to test this. It pretty much saves that instance or that information on the next startup, so you don't have to sit there and relog again. But I will have to test this on my own outside from this recording. But anyways, that is working. I don't want to say it's a cheap trick, but it's pretty basic, you know. Being able to do something like that, it's very, very basic. Okay, so I already confirmed with you guys that that's working. Interface could definitely use a facelift. Oh, definitely use a facelift. Next feature, background. That's working. Definitely a couple of UI tweaks and settings that I would definitely add to kind of prevent this. This is bad. But one thing I did add was this. You're now able to edit images. And then you can select that image. Oh boy. Well, we found another bug. So when you select a custom image and then you click away from the options and you put it back, it disappears. That is a no-no. So this is why I love bring my projects to my desktop and just start testing it to catch things like this. Because especially if you're working in an environment like similar to Google AI Studio, Because you're on a web browser, there's certain features or things that you can't really test until you bring it onto your desktop. It's on your computer basically. But yeah, that's another bug that needs to be fixed. But you can take out the background, you know, and this does work. We just confirmed it, and it works on all the slots as well. So you can change between the backgrounds, but that's definitely something that I'll be working to fix. Alrighty, let's talk about this. Let's do that. And there's already like a slight little bug with the transition animation. Let's talk about it. So essentially what is happening is all of this, it's like right here, which is really bad. So when I click on edit, it's sort of like, it's trying to be behind this panel and then disappear. And it's like a really awkwardly implemented transition. And it's like, no, that's not what we want, Gemini. No, bad Gemini. So that's definitely another fix I will be implementing. But overall, this animation is smooth. Just something I have to fix. You can change the name. Let's call him Tiny Z. And you can edit this as well. Let's just take out this. Done. And that's what it shows up, and it also shows up here. It automatically connects to LM Studio, and I don't know why Gemini put this twice. But that's the default host link. That's like, if you start it up and you don't really customize or anything, that's like the default host link address. I don't know why they added it twice. Also, another thing that's already annoying me, it's adding a scroll bar. It's not supposed to be there. What I would do is just implement the scroll feature, but hide the scroll bar, because it's a physical element on the UI. And so it's affecting other portions of the UI, such as this panel. So when you hide it, the feature is still working. It's just not affecting the UI. It's only doing the scroll feature. But anyways, just tiny things like this. And I would just write them down and be like, okay, we need to add this, we need to add that, we need to add that. Dark theme looks good. Light theme. I basically instructed Gemini to implement this and tried to give it context. I was basically saying, hey, you know when you invert dark mode, that's light mode. And it took it literally, and so it was inverting like the images and everything, which I thought was hilarious. So yeah, and then there's retro. And this is just to demonstrate the ability to integrate drastically different UI styles into an application. There's definitely certain things to be mindful of how the buttons might change the size, how certain elements and the different options and stuff might actually look. You know, one problem I have was that this save button, when I was under the retro settings, was like all the way to the right, and it was trying to float away, and I'm like, no, you need to come back, you bad button. And it was mainly because the width of this drop-down menu was way too wide, and it wasn't fixed like the other ones. So I instructed Gemini, hey, you need to make that width of this drop-down menu a fixed width, so that way we don't have this the situation when with the save button is trying to escape. But anyways, it's kind of lagging because I have several things going on my desktop, so apologies for that. Alrighty. So now we're gonna chit chat. Now, hey. Oh, oops. Are you alive? Are you alive, Commander Shepard? Now the reason why I picked a thinking model is because I wanted to see this. So this right here, which will be implemented into future updates of this application, will actually appear here, which I already implemented, but right now it's just a placeholder. So all of this will go here. Will go right here. And how to handle it? How would I handle it? So there's a couple of ways that I'm thinking about. Either having it like as is, thinking, and then say view click here to view the contents, and it will show what it was thinking in like a very smooth slight downward transition. So this will expand and it would show like what it's thinking basically, and then it would just be this message that will appear in the bubble. So you're not gonna get, oh, this, but is he alive? Yes, he's alive. It's great. And we are going to ask him again so that we can see that. Are you sure, Garrus? Or Tiny? Tiny, Garrus, are you sure? Yes, he is alive. He is alive. That is great. Now then, more bugs. This is working, but oh, okay, so this is working. So in AI Studio, this was not showing up, but now it's showing up. So let's let me see, is this a vision model? This is a tool model. So here's what we're going to have to do. We're gonna need a good old vision model. Actually, I don't like that one because, oh boy, I don't have any way to confirm. Oh boy. So Quinn. I like Quinn, but sometimes they love running and running and running and running and running. But we're gonna confirm. Can you see this image? And just ask them a simple question. And let's do this. And another bug I need to fix is to actually add the attach file. Okay. So we are definitely gonna have to fix that feature in this application. Error connecting with local model, bad request, check you. Okay. So it seems like this feature, like even though on the UI it's there, it's just not pushing the request correctly to the selected model. So we're gonna fix that. But is it working? Yes. It's just that we need to go into the back door and fix the piping. That's all we have to do. But let's go ahead and select a different model here. But let me do it from here first. Load. Okay. And it's a really simple fix. I wanted to get like a general semi-working standing version of this application, and I have the core features there. Now it's just testing it and saying, okay, this is broken, this is not working, this is not working, and just, you know, going from there. So let me see, this is loaded. Let's select it from here. Okay, and let's see if this feature is working. Hey, can you see this test document? And then we're going to see if it's working, and if it's not, that's just like an extra thing to add into the bucket list. No more, no less. We have to respond. Okay, so let me see. Download and documents. And I think it was this. Haha. So this was the document we sent over to Garrus. And he confirmed that yes, he can see the list. So that feature is confirmed working. We're definitely gonna have to kind of fine-tune the look of it, how the AI actually handles it, and maybe integrate a service that might actually handle it a little better than the application itself. But is this feature working? Yeah. All right, so chat interface, copy button. There is no feedback. I just clicked on it and we don't have a, oh, you just copy a great message or a copy successfully message. We need to make sure to implement that. So that way I know and you know that you copied it correctly. This just forwards it, but it's kind of buggy. It basically forwards this accept message and just auto copies it. So let's do that. And that's what happens. It works, but I'll definitely implement more features. And then just to confirm that it's working, there, copy button's working. Let's go ahead and do this. And this is working. Definitely the transition animation from being here to goodbye basically could definitely be a lot better than just it popping out from assistance. On the back is supposed to be the chat backups. I'm not going to assume that it's working. I am going to assume that it's not working. But the backups don't really occur until every couple of hours. So there's not really a way for me to test this live right here. And there's actually yet another bug. And yes, another bug. So we are away from this menu. It doesn't stay persistent. We gotta make the state persistent. Like, oh hey, I picked this model. Okay, when you come back to this menu, you have picked that same model. We're gonna show you the model that you picked, basically. Just errors like this is better to catch at the very early stages versus, you know, later. So that's another bug, and this is yet another bug. So essentially this is like a status update feature where it auto loads like the thoughts of the AI. I actually integrated this into one of my other applications. It's actually a custom chat interface based on Kasumi Goto from Mass Effect. I'll showcase it one day. I actually took it up from my GitHub because I thought, okay, I'm not gonna make any changes to it. I don't need to have it sitting in my GitHub account. But now I realize it's actually important to keep all projects across my 3 GitHub accounts. And yes, I do have 3 of them. I will be showing them if I'm on a different account, creating with AI Studio. But I do unionize 3 accounts. It's nothing malicious. It's just I'm basically unionizing the free tiers and try to get as much done as I can without having to pay to basically implement more features into it, unless I have to for a client. All right, so in conclusion, how long did it take me to get from a basic sketch, which I can actually show if I can find it. So this was my sketch, and I do come from an artist background, but this was a really rough sketch. So we went from this to this. So how long did it take me? In total, from the beginning to this current checkpoint, literally a couple hours. And I wanted to get the UI to look the way I wanted to, and then troubleshoot or check to see how I need to implement certain features before moving on to the refinement features integration stage of my project. So I kind of followed the sketch a little bit. There's three or four buttons on the top. There's a couple on the bottom. There's the input box for the tats, and there's a window of sorts in the middle. Kind of looks like a data pad. I did implement most of this rack feature. That's actually going to be integrated with anything LLM. There's no landing page yet. I need to make sure that when I implement a landing page is basically like the very first thing you see when the application opens. I'm going to start implementing that as well. And it's not really based on any particular character, but I will start fine-tuning the UI to kind of look more like it could be from Mass Effect, if the person wants to. And I'll definitely do a much more intensive theme selection. Don't have it, not just to have it in like basic stuff, but that the person can actually edit the chatbots, all sorts of stuff. So, and this is the first checkpoint of my application. Thanks for watching. I hope this helps you. I understand that people love to scrape stuff with AI. Let's be honest, it's going to happen. But it shouldn't really stop me from showcasing what I'm able to do and to try to help and educate people. If you like videos like this, go ahead and hit that subscribe button to see more updates I do with this application. I would definitely make it public once it's ready to be public. And I'll see you on the next one. Take care of yourselves.